break. It's time for national news. Let's head over to the news desk.
Thanks, Chris. This week in national news, Apple's release of the iPhone 5 has topped 5 million sales. This exceeds last year's iPhone 4S sales by more than 1 million purchases. Apple's CEO, Tim Cook, says the demand has been incredible, with Apple selling out of all of its first shipments of the iPhone 5. Cook also says that Apple is working diligently to get more iPhones on the shelves, because approximately 3 to 4 million people or more are waiting to purchase the new technology. Should the controversial morning after pill be easily available for 14-year-old girls? According to the Department of Education, high school girls will be able to get the Plan B emergency after pill without the consent of their parents. Statistics show approximately 7,000 girls will be pregnant in New York City schools by the time they reach 17. More than half of those girls opt for abortions. The schools already distribute free condoms to students. And presidential candidates Mitt Romney and President Barack Obama will face off in the first of 3 televised debates on October 3rd at the University of Denver. Former White House spokesperson Robert Gibbs gives Romney the upper hand on the debates because the GOP nominee has been through 20 of these debates through the primary elections over the last year. He was declared the winner of 16 of those debates. The topic of the first debate will be domestic issues, broken down into 6 15-minute segments. It is predicted that more than half of those segments will be devoted to the economy. Like everything else that goes up in price, restaurant tipping has become the focus of a New York Times article that says 25% is the new standard for an appropriate tip. A Cornell University professor did a study of more than 9,000 credit card receipts in a New York restaurant and found that more than 30% of those portions tipped more than 20%. Former New York waiter Steve DeBlanca says it's tip creep that he calls it tip creep. He points out in his book, Keep the Change, that the waiters don't receive minimum wage and should be able to keep up with the inflation and higher gratuities. And that's all for national news this week. Let's head back over to Courtney and Chris at the couch.
Thanks, Caroline. There was a hostage situation at 3 Gateway Center in downtown Pittsburgh on September 21st. Chris Hoffman was on the scene, and here's his report.
After 6 hours of a hostage situation here at 3 Gateway Center, the gray building over my left shoulder, it's finally over. Police have taken into custody 22-year-old Klein Michael Thaxton.
God blessing that no one was injured, no life was taken. So it is a very successful event.
At 8:15 this morning, according to Pittsburgh City Police Chief Nate Harper, the situation started when the suspect took into custody one hostage, the owner of the office on the 16th floor. According to police, no shots were fired, no bombs went off, but there were weapons found at the scene. The situation is now over. Diane Richards, spokesperson for the Pittsburgh City Police, said he came out, hands raised. He surrendered after long hours of negotiation, which were really slowed down by his social media presence. He had his Facebook page up and running the whole time. Police were able to shut that down and stop the outside influence. Because of that, they were able to get negotiations with him, had his family and the hostage's family here in the command centers just under the Wyndham Hotel. After that, they were able to convince him to come out. No one was harmed in this. The victim is now being treated, and the suspect is in custody of the Pittsburgh Police. I'm Chris Hoffman for UView of Point Park University.
Well, thanks, Chris. That was a wonderful package that you made. Like, you were on the scene, and I'm so glad that you're here co-hosting with me right now. Tell me about how it was being on the scene.
It was a great experience. We were right there along several professionals from PXI, TAE, KDKA. I mean, it was a great story. I mean, sad to see it was a hostage situation, but everyone came out safe, happy ending, great experience. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better as a journalist student.
Yeah, I bet that was a really good experience for you.
Oh, most definitely. Nothing beats firsthand experience, especially something like breaking news like that when it's only 2 blocks away.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy scene, I bet. But Daybreak will be right back with a look at weather, Decision 2012, and a sports report right after this.